I'm going to demonstrate to you now how you can use blending modes in Photoshop to create a range of different texture and colour outcomes. So to show you some examples of what I'm talking about, I've got a couple here. So this is a design that I've taken out of Illustrator, and I've added one blending layer mode there, another one here. I've added a colour overlay on top, added some pattern here. So there are a range of different things that you can do, and they're really simple and straightforward to create. So first thing you need to do is to decide what design that you've previously done in Illustrator that you would like to edit further in Photoshop with this technique. Like I said in the previous video, try and choose something that you are really pleased with, one of your better designs for doing this. So the first thing you need to do is select it and copy and paste it. So just make sure to select it, make sure that the layer is not locked, otherwise it won't let you select it. Make sure you know what layer it is, and you just make sure you've got the black arrow selected, and then you just click and drag, Control C to copy, open up Photoshop. You need to open up a new page, so this is your home screen, so you go to Create New, and you go to A4. I would recommend A4 because it's just nice and easy. Again, if you can't see A4 there, then go up to Print at the top, and that will probably give you A4. If it's still not there, just click on View All Presets and choose the size that you want. The shape of my page is landscape, so I'm going to choose landscape as opposed to portrait, and I'm not going to worry about any of these other settings, and then I'm just going to click on Create. That's my A3 page. I'm going to Control V to paste. It asks me how do I want to paste it. I would like a smart object because it's just a better quality image that it exports over. It doesn't pixelate it as it would if you clicked on pixels, and then press OK. It gives you the opportunity to increase the size if you need to, and then just press enter. So what I'm going to do is I am going to find some images that I'm going to put on top of this, and then I'm going to change the blending mode, which is this one here, to create different effects. So I'm going to get my images from the internet. So I've already chosen a few. I've chosen try this texture, see how this works. I've got a pattern here, see how that one works, and then I've got a watercolor effect here. So you can do this using any kind of texture or pattern or color or anything that you can think of that would look good with your design. First thing I'm going to do is right click and copy image, and then I'm going to Control and V to paste it. It's way too small at the moment. To enable you to move it around, just make sure you have the Move tool selected, which is at the top of your tools here on the left hand side. So I'm going to I want to make this much bigger. So the easiest way to enlarge an image is Control T for transform, and then you can just pull out the edges just like that, and I'm just going to size it so that I just want it to cover the lettering more than anything else. So that's probably going to be okay. Then I'm going to press enter to finish that transformation. So what I've got at the moment is one image sitting on top of my design. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the way that this layer behaves so we can see underneath, and it blends them together. That's why it's called a layer blending mode. So at the moment it's defaulted to normal. Normal just being it looks as you would expect it to look. If I go down, dissolve doesn't often do much, but if I go to darken, it gives me that effect, and I can slowly go down the list, and it changes how the two layers, the layer that I've got selected and the layer underneath, look with each other. So you can go through it and you can decide that one looks alright, but it's hard to see that first P, so I may need to change the size of the effect on top of it. But I'm going to go through and see which one I think looks the best, and that's basically how that tool works. Now the problem with this is I can't see my P, so maybe I'll come back to here, click on here, Control T, and let's try enlarging it so that the P becomes a bit more visible. See if that improves that a little bit. Press enter. So that's really easy. So when you're happy with that, that's that done. So I've got it on vivid light. I'm just going to hide that for the moment, and I'm going to go back to the internet, and let's try one of the others. Let's see what this one looks like. So I'm going to copy that, Control V to paste, Control T to enlarge from the corners, enlarge it up, make sure it covers the whole word doesn't matter if it goes off the page. And position it how you like. Let's see how that looks. Press enter. And then make sure you've got the right layer selected, and then you go to normal and then go through them all and see how they look together. So just go down through them all. Let me just pick that one. Another thing you can do, if you like something but you think it's a bit bold or it's a bit bright, you can change the opacity as well of the image so that it gives you a much subtler effect, you know. Okay, obviously that's too much, but you can bear that in mind as well. You can also change the fill, which does slightly different, just changes the brightness of the image. So you can play around with those as well. So that's how that tool works. Let's just see what the last one looks like. Texture, right click, copy, Control V to paste, Control T to enlarge. Make sure it fills the whole page, and then press enter to finish that, and then go to normal and then work my way through. Some of these look alright. That red one looked alright, that looks okay. So you can see it's very easy to create some interesting effects just through simple images. I didn't mean to select that one. Simple images and combining how they look together using this function. I'm just going to go with that for now. Okay, so that's how you do it. So try and experiment with a range of lots of different images. I'm going to show you one more thing now that you might find interesting or might want to experiment with. So I'm going to hide, they're all hidden now. If I go down to this tool here, this half circle, half black, half white, and click on there, I can add solid colour layer. That'll just give me a solid colour. Won't be very interesting for what we want, but a gradient might be interesting and a pattern might be interesting. So if I start with pattern, on top you can see on a new layer on top it's given me a pattern. There's a series of presets, and if you click on here you can go through and choose some of them. Some of them are a bit cheesy, but it might just be worth having a play just to see if you can get any good effects, see if any of them look any good. I don't know, let's try that one. So that's that. You can change the scale, so that's the size of the pattern, so you can make it much bigger or smaller, and I wouldn't worry about any of those. So press OK, and then you just do the same thing, go to normal and then go through the blending modes and see if any of those look good. So that's another thing you can do. Let's go with that one and then hide it. If I go back to here and go up to gradient this time, I will click on here and then I can choose a gradient. Again, if you watch the video where I showed you adjustment layers, you can come down here and you can choose your own colours just by clicking on here and then double click on there, and you can choose whatever colours. Just go with anything just for the demonstration. Let's just go with that. Bit bright, bit vibrant, but let's do something like that. And then if you go to OK, you can change the style of it. So if you want it to be radial, or you can have like that sort of effect, or a diamond, and you can change the angle. You can change the size of it, make it bigger or smaller, and then press OK, and then again you can change the blending mode on that. Doesn't look great here, but well, that one's alright. But that, you know, you have a little play around with these. They actually look not too bad. So have a play around with lots and lots of different effects with this technique.